Introduction. Apple Inc. is a global technology leader known for innovation, integrated ecosystem, and strong brand loyalty. Apple began as a personal computer manufacturer and now evolved into a global leader in consumer electronics, software, and digital services. The company is best known for its iconic products including the iPhone, iPad, Mac, Apple Watch, and AirPods. Apple has effectively used business and corporate level strategies related to diversification to stay competitive in a saturated market. However, Apple also faces several challenges in the process of adopting its strategy. This presentation will explore Apple's strategic approach, the industry life cycle stages, the value derived from various growth models, and issues that will influence Apple's future strategic direction.
Business level strategy BLS adopted by Apple Inc. First, Apple adopt differentiation strategy which stated in the textbook 11 edition, creating differences in the firm's product or services by creating an image that persists industry-wide as unique and valued by customers. Apple produced innovative product design that focus on aesthetic and minimalist design such as MacBook, iPhone, and Apple Watch. Apple also integrate ecosystem in their hardware and software such as Mac OS for MacBook to integrate with other Apple devices to be connected, and iOS for iPhone that work seamlessly together to create a closed and smooth ecosystem. From this strategy, Apple built trust for the consumer to use their product, so Apple can gain strong brand loyalty by having high customer satisfaction in making less price sensitivity and more likely to repeat the product. Next, Apple adopt a combination strategy. They integrate differentiation with cost efficiency to maintain competitive advantage and operational excellence by bundling services with Apple One by combining the iCloud, Music, and TV Plus and develop in-house chips like M1, M2, and M3. Apple control over its supply chain, design, and software by products are uniquely positioned in terms of experience, so Apple can save costs while maintaining the high-quality product, which leads Apple to have operational efficiency.
Next, I will explain about the corporate level strategy adopted by Apple Incorporation. The first one is mergers and acquisitions. Apple Incorporation does not engage in merger but acquire a small company to enhance their operation. Acquisition happens when one firm purchases another firm through stock purchase, cash, or issuance of debt. In 2010, Apple Incorporation acquired Siri Incorporation so it can fully integrate Siri's natural language voice recognition software into iOS, which is Apple's operating system. In 2018, Apple Incorporation acquired Shazam to improve their Apple Music song recognition software. Thus, this gives effect to Apple Incorporation to enhance product and service integration through acquiring a small companies. The second one is vertical integration. Vertical integration is an expansion or extension of the firm by integrating preceding production processes. For example, Apple Incorporation designs and develops their own chip for their own product, also known as Apple Silicons, such as A series chip for iPhones and iPads, M series chips for Macs, and H series chips for AirPods. Apple Incorporation also develops their own software system, which is iOS and Mac OS. This gives effect to Apple Incorporation by securing the supply chain. It can help Apple Incorporation to reduce their dependence on third-party suppliers.
Apple have some motivations to adopt business level strategy. First, historical and strategic motivation. It motivates Apple to create a brand and product based on innovation, design elegant, and user empowerment, not price competition. Apple focus on the quality of experience and create technology as a tool for creativity, simplicity, and lifestyle transformation. They build closed-loop systems such as Mac OS plus Mac hardware integration and iPhone plus iOS plus App Store ecosystem, ensuring complete control over the user experience. This aligns with the firm's specific capabilities to create unique and valued products. This will enable high customer retention and long-term ecosystem dependence for Apple Inc. Next, Apple have sustainability sustainability motivation to build long-term competitive advantage that are difficult to replicate and offer continued growth. Apple had invested in research and development, create proprietary technology and deliver ongoing value through services to type with valuable, rare, inimitable and cannot be substitutable product. For example, M1 or M2 chips can make Macs faster, cooler and longer lasting than other Windows PCs. So Apple can consistently rank as the most valuable brand globally.
Now, I will talk about the company's motivation to adopt corporate level strategy. The first one is to shorten production timeline. By acquiring other firms can help Apple Incorporation to obtain new technologies faster than developing on its own. This is because developing a new technologies from scratch requires significant time and resources. For example, acquiring a Siri Incorporation helped Apple Incorporation to introduce voice assistant earlier than the competitors within the same industry. Imagine if Apple Incorporation tried to develop this feature on its own. It could have taken longer, thus allowing the competitors to introduce this feature first. The second one is to protect intellectual property. Apple Incorporation has control over their brand and quality of the product, which means only Apple can produce their devices with the quality that they want and ensure that its product remains unique and protected from imitations. A strong example is when Apple Incorporation designed its own chips such as M1 and M2. Apple Incorporation can protect their own design chip through patents to prevent competitors from copying or replicating them.
Now, this is the possible reason why the outcomes of adopted strategies did not turn out as planned. One of the major reasons is market saturation. In developed economies like the US, the smartphone market is nearing saturation as most potential customers already own high-end devices. This makes it difficult for Apple to sustain their growth solely through iPhone sales. Even though Apple upgrades its product, consumers will not upgrade their devices frequently unless necessary. Next is competition pressure. While Apple continues to strategize for differentiation, other competitors such as Samsung and Huawei continue to compete by offering devices that are comparable to Apple's product at much lower prices, making Apple's uniqueness become less attractive to consumers that are concerned with selling prices. This could affect Apple's ability to achieve its sales targets. Lastly is supply chain disruption. This also has impacted Apple's strategic outcome. The COVID-19 pandemic has exposed Apple to weakness in the global integrated supply chain. Factory shutdowns and shipping delays have affected product availability. This has resulted in delayed launches and unfulfilled demand.
Stages of the industry life cycle. First is introduction. At first, products introduced by Apple are unfamiliar, so the company focused on product and market awareness. Apple business level strategies during this stage focus on differentiation through product innovation. For example, the company introduced Apple One, which is the first computer built by Apple. Apple corporate level strategies during this stage focus on internal development, such as research and development and marketing to promote market awareness. Second is growth. During this stage, sales are growing rapidly and there is an emergence of new competitors. So the company focused on brand development and market expansion. Apple business level strategies during this stage focus on continued differentiation of the product. For example, by differentiating the product with other products by creating the OS system, which is a system that can only be used in Apple products. Apple corporate level strategies during this stage focus on product related diversification. For example, iTunes, which is a music application, and iPod, which is known as portable media players. Third is maturity. During this stage, innovation slows as market saturates, so the company focuses and competes on efficiency. Apple business level strategies during this stage focus on integration and differentiation. An example of integration is Apple Silicon, which is a processor chip that was created by Apple and used in the Apple products. And the example of differentiation is the iPhone, which is a smartphone that was created by Apple. Apple corporate level strategies during this stage focus on operational efficiency by creating Apple Silicon and expanding globally by selling the product to the global market. Last is decline. Decline might be due to substitute or market saturation, so the company will have to decide whether to exit or innovate. Apple business level strategies during this stage focus on harvest strategy, which is to maximize profit before discontinuing product. iPods and iTunes are an example of discontinued product from Apple. Apple corporate level strategies during this stage focus on reinvest by acquiring or merging with new industries such as artificial intelligence technologies, which is Siri.
How the concept of outsourcing, merger, acquisition, and strategy aligns add value to a company. Apple maintains competitive through key strategy, outsourcing to partners like Foxconn ensure cost efficient and skills, allowing Apple to focus on innovation. Merger and acquisition, such as bid purchase, bring in talent and expand services. Strategy alliance, like with IBM, expand market reaches. Acquisition for innovation, integrate new technology and protect intellectual property. Let's talk about Apple outsourcing, specifically for Falcon and Taiwan electronic manufacturing. What do they outsource? The example of iPhone, iPad, and Mac. This strategy provides significant value for cost efficient and will provide the huge expense of owning battery and manage vast labor force. In terms of scale, Falcon global manufacturing capabilities allow Apple to efficiently meet worldwide demand for its product. More importantly, it allows Apple to focus on its core strength, innovation, and design, while Falcon expertly handle mass production. So what's the result? Apple maintain high profit margin while consistently deliver quality product globally. Merger and acquisition. In 2014, Apple made a significant move by acquiring Bit Electronic for $3 billion. The acquisition contributed immense value to Apple. First, they gained a streaming service as Beat Music became the foundational platform for what we know as Apple Music, a top competitor to Spotify. Secondly, there are strong brand strategy. Beat headphone perfectly complemented Apple's existing iPhone and wearable product line. And finally, it was a strategic talent acquisition, bring in their own music industry expertise including Dr. Dre and Jimmy Lovely. So what's the result? Apple Music transformed into a crucial recurring revenue stream with Apple expanding service segment. Strategy alliance. In 2014, Apple partnered with IBM to develop industry-specific business app for iOS devices. This aligned open Apple product to enterprise users, expanding their market beyond the consumer. It leveraged IBM data and analytic expertise, combined it with Apple devices. This strengthened Apple ecosystem, enhancing iPad and iPhone utility in sectors like healthcare, retail, and finance. Ultimately, Apple became more competitive in enterprise mobility market. Acquisition for innovation. In 2013, Apple acquired PrimeSense, a company that developed 3D motion sensing technology. This acquisition brings significant value to the technology integration contribution to the development of features like Face ID, augmented reality. It also provides Apple with a crucial intelligent property for future application iPhone and AR device. The result, Face ID became a key differentiator for new iPhone and iPad.
Other relevant industry issues Apple Incorporated should consider is environmental sustainability and ESG. The rising pressure from regulators, investors, and consumers forced the creation of sustainability products. Apple could increase use of recycled materials such as using recycled aluminium to create Apple products and progress toward a carbon-neutral supply chain. Next is cybersecurity and privacy data compliance. Growing data concern from consumers and stricter global data privacy laws had forced relevant industry to improve data security. Apple could prioritize privacy-first design, transparency, and user data control by creating a system or application that allow users to control their own data usage to third parties. Apple could highlight privacy as a brand advantage. Next, supply chain resilience. Overdependence on suppliers in politically unstable regions could result in manufacturing delays and cost fluctuation. Apple could diversify the supply chains by expanding manufacturing operations to other potential countries such as Vietnam to reduce political risk. Last but not least, strategic innovation and venturing. The emergence of new technologies increased the pressure from consumers to stay relevant in the competitive market. To stay relevant, Apple could acquire, invest, or collaborate with innovative startups to create new technologies and integrate it into Apple's platform, such as acquiring companies that create AI to improve user experience and personalization.
In conclusion, Apple maintained its competitive edge through a combination business level and corporate level strategy. They prioritize innovation and user empower, leading to high customer retention and a strong ecosystem. Apple also utilized outsourcing, merger, acquisition, and strategy aligned to gain new technology, expand market reaches, and optimize costs. Despite challenges like market saturation and supply chain disruption, Apple continued to lead by adapting its strategy and addressing relevant industry issues.